Xander here, and we're back looking at brews in Modern. This is what I've been messing around with ever since the Flame of Keld come out in Dominaria. It's an amalgamation of a few decks, so some of you, if you're watching this, you're probably familiar with Young Pyromancer in the Mardu Pyromancer deck, or Mono Red Prison, which runs Ensnaring Bridges and Blood Moons, and this has all that. Also running Bedlams in here, but yeah, Flame of Keld is for 2, 1 and 1 red. It's a saga, so it ticks up at the turn it's played, and then every turn after that it gets a counter on it. So a lore counter is what it's called. And then so the turn you play it, you discard your hand. The turn after you play it, you draw 2 cards, and then the second turn, or the third tick, is if a red source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player this turn, it deals that much damage plus 2. So this is I'm trying to abuse this in Modern. I reckon it's going to see a lot of play in After Rotation, but I also reckon it's really good in a Modern setting, and this is me trying to show you guys that it actually works. So we're running Flame of Keld in a 4 of. We're running Forked Bolt in a 4 of. So Forked Bolt is for 1 red at sorcery speed. Forked Bolt deals 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 target creatures or players. So if it by itself is pretty cool, it can deal with a lot of threats. There's a lot of stuff in the Modern format that is 1 toughness, and this is going to deal with them. But if the Flame of Keld is on its last tick, and then it goes off, it turns into deal 3 damage to 2 things, or deal 4 damage to face for 1, which is fantastic. It's awesome. Also running a 4 of, because we are running Young Pyromancers, so I'll just go over Pyromancer. For 1 and 1 red, it's 2/1 Human Shaman, with whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you put a 1/1 red elemental creature token onto the battlefield. Now the red elemental token is relevant because it means that all our elementals also deal more damage. So we're going for a huge go wide strategy early. We try to dump our hand out as quickly as possible. We try to get Flame of Keld off, and we're trying to beat them by turn 5 or 6. That's basically how it goes. If that doesn't happen, it's a little bit harder for us to drag out the game, but it still happened. We can still win. I've done it before. We can drag the game out. That's why the prison side of everything is in here. But yeah, we are trying to go as quickly as possible. To do this, we're running a 4 of Metamorphose, which is for 2, 1 and 1. It's hybrid, but we're just paying for 1 red. It's add 2 mana in any combination of colors to your mana pool and draw a card. So with Young Pyromancer, it allows us to get an elemental essentially for free, because just about everything else in the deck's 2 cost. So we play Metamorphose, draw another card, and then play something immediately after it. So it's trying to get us a 2-for-1 as well as filter through our deck. Like, gets us that draw. And yeah, it's awesome. So running that in 4 of. Playing Modern, we're going to be playing Lightning Bolt in a 4 of, for 1 deal 3, target creature or player. It's fantastic against its speed. Faithless Looting. Again, this is allowing us to get triggers off Young Pyromancer. We can flashback it, so we can do it twice. It's helping us sift through our draws. Like, if we get into too many lands we don't want them, we can play this, draw 2 more cards, discard the lands, just getting value. Awesome card. Playing this in a 4 of is for 1, draw 2, discard 2, flashback for 3. With playing a 3 of Blood Moon, all non-basic lands are now basic mountains. Awesome card. There's a reason it's played in a shitload of decks, and it's because he's so damn good. This hoses humans because they only run like 2 basic lands in their deck, so this absolutely just shits on humans. Spirits doesn't like it. Anything running too many colors, they're trying to run a lot of non-basics. So this can often force a scoop if they're looking like they're in a bad position already, and we can get this out early. They just go, oh, I can't answer that, and done. Sideboard kind of changes a bit. After sideboards, a lot of decks have an answer for Blood Moon, but again, if they don't have it straight away, then they're in trouble. So yeah, it's an awesome card. We're definitely running in a 3 of. Also running a 2 of Ensnaring Bridge, which is for 3. So it just sits on the battlefield. Each creature with power greater than the number of cards in your hand cannot attack. This can let us stall out the game. Just leave us on an empty hand, let us build a board, and then eventually we just get a couple of cards with Faithless Looting, or get into more cards somehow, or we can stall out the game and use this guy, Gutter Snipe. So for 2 and 1 red, a 2/2 Goblin Shaman. This is the M19 version. It's whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, Gutter Snipe deals 2 damage to each opponent. So if we've got a Flame of Keld tick, it's every time Clean into a sorcery spell, it's dealing 4 damage. So that's when it starts getting crazy, because Flame of Keld tick goes off. We've already got... So the turn after we play it, we draw 2 cards, which means we're going to have 3 cards in our hand. So the turn after that, we're going to have 4 cards in our hand. Say we've already got Gutter Snipe out. One of those cards will be, say, Manamorphose, pings them for 4 because of the Gutter Snipe. We play a Lightning Bolt, pinging them for 5 and for 4 because of Gutter Snipe. Play a Fork Bolt, dealing them 4 and 4 from Gutter Snipe. And you can very quickly see how this gets out of hand. But yeah, so that's... Gutter Snipe's awesome. Definitely running a 2 of. Could probably find more room. I might take this guy out to put it in, but this guy's worked pretty well for me so far. So Bedlam Reveler is for 6 and 2 red. It's a 3/4, and it costs 1 less to cast for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard, which is quite often going to be a lot. It's got Prowess, so whenever you play a non-creature spell, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn, and then whenever it enters the battlefield, you discard your hand and then draw 3 cards. So this is, again, more draw card that allows us to just draw into more low-cost stuff and just go cycle through as quickly as possible and go full aggro. Is the whole reason it's in here. We're also running a 4 of Vexing Devil, which is for 1, a 4/3. You'll see this in a lot of burn decks because of this ability. So when it enters the battlefield, any opponent may have it deal 4 damage to him or her. If they do, sacrifice Vexing Devil. So if this is out and they let it resolve and Flame of Keld's gone off, if we're swinging into an empty board, it's dealing 6 damage, which is crazy. But if we draw it and Flame of Keld goes off, we can play it, and if it deals damage to them, it's any opponent may have it deal 4 damage. So it's coming from a red source, so it's still going to deal them 6 damage. Or they can just let it resolve, and then it's still a 4/3 board, still a 4/3 on our board, which is threatening damage later. So it's an awesome card. So back of the Pyromancers, Simeon Spirit Guide, just allowing us to play our early threats even earlier. So it's a 3-cost card normally, 2 and 1 red for a 2/2. It's an Ape Spirit with remove Simeon Spirit Guide in your hand from the game, add 1 red to your mana pool. So it's free mana. Just mana on a stick, which is freaking awesome. So we can turn 1 Pyromancer, turn 2 play a couple of spells, build a board, or we can turn 2 Blood Moon. It makes red crazy. Being able to ramp in red just makes it insane. Definitely running in a 4 of. You'll notice I'm running snow-covered mountains. That's because I'm running Scred in the sideboard. I'll go over that in a second. But we're running 12. So we're running 12 snow-covered mountains. We're running a 4 of Arid Mesa, which is just a crack fetch land for search for mountains. So tap, pay 1 life, sack it. Again, this is just filtering our deck. And Bloodstained Mire. Again, tap, sack. So tap, pay 1, sack it. Searching for a mountain again. So yeah, it's just filtered. It's 4, 5, 6, 7 chances at going through our deck for more lands. Means that we're going to draw into more value with our draw card, which is it's a really good thing to do. Just going on with the sideboard real quick here. You'll see here we're running answers for Storm and Tron in Damping Sphere in a 2 of. So for 2, if a land would tap for 2 or more mana, it produces 1 instead. And then each spell cast costs 1 more to cast for each other spell cast this turn. That slows us down a little bit, but we've got lands in here. We've got ways to ramp. It doesn't slow us too much. It hoses Storm. That's why it's in here. We're also running a 2 of Shattering Spree, which is for 1, destroy target artifact with Replicate. So if you keep paying 1 to copy the effect. Hoses Affinity, hoses Lantern Control. Great card. Also running a 3 of Anger the Gods for stuff that's trying to go wider than we are. We just kind of hang back a bit, play the Anger of Gods when they build their board up, and then we push out. So Anger of Gods is for 3, 1 and 2 red. At sorcery speed, you deal 3 damage to each creature. If a creature was dealt damage this way and dies this turn, exile it instead. Here's the 4 of Scred that I was talking about. So it's for 1 at instant speed. Scred deals damage to target creature equal to the number of snow permanents you control, which is going to be all our basic snow lands, which are the mountains. So I had Scred in here because my meta at the time had a whole lot of Tarmogoyfs, and I was seeing a lot of Death Shadow on that. So this worked really, really well. But yeah, it wasn't in the main board because I wanted to try and hit face more than I did creatures. But yeah, it's a great card, so I'm running in a 4 of. Also running 2 more copies of Ensnaring Bridge in the sideboard. which I've already gone over, and 2 copies of Pithing Needle, which comes into play at 1. It's an artifact. Comes into play, name a card. Activated abilities of sources of the chosen name can't activate unless they're mana abilities. Stops Planeswalkers. It's a great card. Anyway, guys, that is Pyro-Keld in Modern. I am Xander. This is Xander's Quest. If you liked the video, if you didn't like the video, if you liked the deck, if you didn't like the deck, if you think I'm missing cards, if you like the cards that are in here, just anything, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you can see videos when they are released. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Keep questing.